Eden's 20 minutes like Cook to the Junction. Kennedy, 48 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, quicker in the Express. Eisenhower, 54 minutes, 390 to downtown. 42 from Wolf. Outbound 40 minutes to 390. A crash on the westbound Reagan Tollway at Roosevelt has cleared. Eastbound Reagan Tollway traffic still Farnsworth to Eola. Northbound Veterans Memorial delays are from 75th Street to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny. Chilly outside, high 29. Partly cloudy and frigid overnight, a low of 9 above. Currently 18 and fair skies at O'Hare, 21 lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. Every Saturday morning at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for your daily edition of
Public Sector Pension Millionaire of the Day.
Yeah, Public Sector Pensioner Millionaire of the Day in Illinois.
Oh.
We have more than 17,000 to choose from, but I've got a list of 17,000 here.
Yeah, like a Lakeview phone book over there.
We'll go.
Okay, ready?
We'll go through. You tell me on what page to stop.
Stop.
Okay, and then how many lines to go down?
5.
5 lines. All right. Let's
Simple.
see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And what do we have?
I'd like to introduce you to Paul Manson, Oak Lawn, Hometown School District 123. He retired at the age of 55.
Wow. Must be nice.
Mm-hmm. He put his current annual pension is $126,000. What? How much did he contribute to his pension?
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm. He contributed during his employment $127,000. His annual pension is $126,000. He contributed during his entire work history to earn this pension $127,000. Wow. His total pension paid to date is $2.06 million. His total present value pension, his expected lifetime payout is just north of $3 million. He contributed 4.2% of the value of his pension to that pension.
Who came up with this system?
127 in, 125 a year currently, $2 million out so far,
and 3 point.
and he's got at least another $1 million to go.
What? Let's just call it. Is he married? Like, the sugar daddy segment, huh? Who knew?
Congratulations, Illinois. That's our public sector pension millionaire of the day, which is a perfect segue to our friend, also an Illinois native, New Trier grad, U of I grad, Steve Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, author of Trumponomics. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Hey, I want to be a pension millionaire.
Who doesn't?
So do I.
Yeah, you don't have the right friends, Steve. That's the problem. You don't have the right friends in Chicago.
I'm just, everybody around the country, I want you to know, because you're there sheltered in Chicago, we are all just proclaiming odes of joy that Rod Blagojevich is.
Well
See,
said.
you can't pronounce his name either. Nor could Trump.
But it's how soon?
Blagojevich.
Blagojevich. Okay.
Just go
There
with
you go. Now you
Blago.
go.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Go with Blago.
Everybody just says
By
Blago.
the way, I don't even remember why he went to jail. It was some kind of fraud or what was it?
Yeah, it was the quote-unquote sale of Obama's Senate seat, as well as shakedowns of children's hospitals and that sort of thing. Yeah.
I was asked by a reporter, what I thought about this, and I said, well, look, if they're going to put the people who are guilty of fraud and corruption in Illinois in jail, then every politician in the state would be in jail.
That'd be a good start. That'd be a good start. Yeah, I know that's the great Rod Blagojevich third grader's defense of everybody's doing it. Yeah.
But let me say this, if I may, because I feel very strongly about this. Michael Milken was a genius. He was a genius who created modern financial markets in the United States. He made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people millionaires the right way, not through government pensions. What he did he raided companies with management that was self-serving, that was paying themselves millions and millions of dollars, but wasn't providing products. And what Milken would do was come in and buy those companies, get rid of the corrupt management, and rebuild those companies into, stellar firms. And the reason he went to jail is because, guess what? The corrupt management didn't like that very much. And he should be regarded as a hero. And I am so proud of Donald Trump for finally, after 30 years, giving him, I guess, because he already served his time.
Yes, it's a pardon,
but
right?
Clemency, but Michael Milken should go down in the history books as one of the great financial minds of our modern times.
No, I agree with that. We talked a little bit earlier in the show where there was a good chapter actually on the Michael Milken prosecution in Harry Silverglate's bestseller, 3 Felonies a Day, how most Americans get 3 felonies a day, about just how malicious that prosecution was. And, of course, the great irony, who was the prosecutor in New York that put Michael Milken in jail? Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani.
And
Giuliani. But Rudy was...
he was a proponent of the pardon, yes.
Yeah, he was. So anyway, that was I thought it was a really upstanding thing for Trump to do. It should have happened a long time ago. And it's important that we get the history of this stuff right, though, because, Milken, what you had was these entrenched managements of these companies that were self-serving, paying themselves millions of dollars, running the companies into the ground. And Milken would go in, he'd buy the companies with junk bonds, and then he would rebuild the companies and provide real wealth. And that's how he got his sin was getting rich, because back then, you weren't allowed to get rich in the United States because you were evil if you got rich. And that ethic is back now with the Democratic Party. Anyone who gets rich is evil, except Michael Bloomberg, who wants to spend $5 billion on the Democratic Party. So now they like billionaires again.
All right. So 7 pardons, 4 commutations. This happening the day before, 2 days before the sentencing of Roger Stone. What message is this sending?
Roger Stone is a political prisoner. It was one of the most outrageous convictions and one of the most outrageous sentences in modern times. The left is using the prosecutorial system to put political prisoners in jail. Roger Stone, I'm not a huge fan of Roger Stone's. I worked with him a little bit on the campaign. But the idea that you come in, he was the one, for people should remember, that they brought, squadrons of people to raid his home. I think they had 25 more people, raided his home than, raided bin Laden to get him, with machine guns and artillery.
Armored tankers.
He was in his pajamas. And I think Roger Stone is not. By the way, his sentence, I think he was sentenced to 9 years in jail.
Recommendation.
Child molesters don't get those kinds of sentences. I mean, he is guilty of working for Donald Trump. That was his crime.
I wanted to, since you're close to Trump, I want to talk about some matters of economic policy.
Okay.
And specifically...
I know what you're going to say, Dan. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say Barack Obama deserves all the credit for the good economy, right?
No, I'm not going to say that.
The big debate is that.
This is not a show for grade schoolers, so we don't even have to deal with those sorts of ridiculous assertions. But I wanted to talk about higher education because, as Andrew Sullivan said, and I often quote him, we're all on one big college campus now. That's how influential what's happening on college campuses is. And the argument that perhaps not now, can't upset all of the alumni from all of these hallowed institutions, but in a second presidential term, Trump gets the federal government out of the college loan business, returns it to private banks, and defunds much of the research, taxpayer-funded research, that is the taxpayer funds used to finance dubious research at so many of these institutions.
Yes.
He redlines that in a second term.
Yes. Yeah, and this should be the highest priority. We've been talking about corruption for the last 15 minutes, and there are no more corrupt institutions in America that are charging our kids $50, $60, sometimes $70,000. Yes, I'm talking about Northwestern. For kids to go to these schools. The average tenured professor is teaching 4 hours a week. They're graduating kids with $150,000 or more of debt. It's just the most outrageous racket that's going on in higher ed. And by the way, these universities, there are now over 20 universities, including Harvard, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Northwestern, that wouldn't have to charge tuition ever for any student coming into the university by just using their massive multi-billion-dollar tax-free endowment.
Yeah.
And why don't they use that money to lower the cost rather than go to the government to subsidize these things? So I think Trump is right on in this and taking on the university powers, and every university in America is charging half the tuition that they do today.
Well, right, and what about Yale's endowment, Harvard's endowment, north of $30 billion. They're
financial institutions.
I know, but they're financial, right? Exactly, they're financial institutions that operate as political operations, and that's the problem. They're not institutions of intellectual pursuit anymore, by and large. And so, what about holding them to account, including with tax policy?
Yes. And the tax policy, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Liberals love to, go after rich people. Why is it that these endowments over $10 billion are tax-free? We should start. You guys know me a long time. I'm against taxes. I'm about as taxes as anybody you'd ever have on your show. But you know what I'm in favor of taxing? These massive endowments that just sit there. Basically, they're like Goldman Sachs. They're not educational institutions.
He is Stephen Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, and author of Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. I just wanted to leave you with one big idea to take back to the White House and demand that it be included on January 20th of 2021. First order of business. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Take care.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states including New York. Offer not available in Washington. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
You see it on TV every day. Global turmoil. But these international events help keep interest rates low and may even drive them lower. In response, we at Cash Call Mortgage have lowered our interest rates for the new year. And that's great news for homeowners. If you have a current rate above 2.99%, call us to see how much you can save. If you qualify, we'll even pay your closing costs. And we can close your refi in as fast as 20 days with no upfront deposit. With our low interest rates and no closing costs if you qualify, there's never been a better time to lock in a low rate before it's gone. For a free quote, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call 800-990-6947. That's 800-990-6947. 800-990-6947.
Hey, networks of the future are finally here, and Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business. Serverless networks help you save money, increase productivity, and